everyone. My name is SHIBLY. I am a senior lecturer in information technology at Southeastern University of Sri Lanka. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to deliver my topic. My topic is preliminary literature review on detection of hate speech using artificial intelligence. Surely that we can divide the literature review into three major areas. First one is hate speech, second one is machine learning, and third one is further studies. So based on the literature review, we can study about the introduction of hate speech, definitions, types of hate speech in social media, legal perspectives, consequences of hate speech. Based on machine learning, we have to go through detection of hate speech using machine learning. Further, we can study issues, methods, data sets, and research gaps to launch a perfect research on this scenario. So based on the hate speech that I went through the preliminary literature review, and I have found about the introductions, definitions, type of hate speech in social media, legal perspectives, issues, and impact on society. So based on that, there are many definitions. We can say the United Nations also deliver a very good definition that the social media posts, whether it may be in text, voice, or images that impact others or that hurts others' feelings, that is simply we can say that is a hate speech. There may be free speech and hate speech, but if we hurt someone based on their gender or based on their ethnicity or based on their religion, and there may be many factors based on their attitudes, if we hurt them by using any form of social media contents, that may be a hate speech. So that is a brief introduction, brief definitions I can tell. And there may be many types of hate speech in social media nowadays. The race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, religion, nationality, disability, political, gender identity, and color. These are the major types of hate speech in social media based on my literature review. So there may be many terminologies have been used to define or to set a boundary about hate speech, that hate crime, offensive language, abusive language, hate speech, anti-social movements, cyber hate. These are the terminologies we can incorporate with hate speech that may be in a different form, but we can put all these into one umbrella, that hate. So the social media platforms, the most of the hate speeches are posted in Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Wikipedia, Reddit, newspaper comments. So the problem identification that online hate speech, especially on social media platforms, is the subject of both policy and political debate in Europe and globally. And there are so many pros and cons. There are so many arguments about hate speech versus free speech. Due to the massive rise of user-generated web content, automated techniques are needed that programmatically classify cyber hate. Hateful and antagonistic content propagated via social network has the potential to cause harm and suffering on an individual basis and lead to social tension and disorder beyond cyberspace. However, social networks cannot control all the content that users post. For this reason, there is a demand for automatic detection of hate speech. And there maybe we can extend the problem identification that in recent years, the increasing propagation of hate speech on social media and the urgent need for effective countermeasures have drawn significant investment from governments, companies, and researchers. Hate speech has become a major issue that is currently a hot topic in the domain of social. So the advancement in technology and social media have allowed irresponsible netizens a platform to post hate speech. This problem can be said to have escalated due to the fact that general insights into the scope of hate speech and its realization, the context and participants in hate speech, then the role of social media in disseminating hate speech and the actual legislative which regulates hate speech are to be studied. So, due to this massive scale of the web, methods that automatically detect hate speech are required. Hate speech targets different protected characteristics such as gender, religion, race, and disability. And I already explained about some more types. Control of hate speech can be made using different national and international legal frameworks. So the proliferations of social media enables people to express their opinions widely online. However, at the same time, this has resulted in the emergence of conflict and hate, making online environments uninviting for users. Although researchers have found that hate is a problem across multiple platforms, there is a lack of models for online hate detection using multi-platform data. So the methods we can use, case study we can use, quantitative research, qualitative research, exploratory approach, experiment method, that text mining, niche dictionaries approach, and co-occurrence analysis. So that is the co-occurrence analysis may be a different part. Sentiment analysis, which may include word embedding methods and keyword search. So the machine learning algorithms we can use for detecting hate speech, that random forest, support vector machine, J48, logistic regression, random forest, gradient boosting, naive Bayes, decision tree, and k nearest neighbors. So the proposed model, based on my literature review, I can deliver the proposed model for anyone who can work with hate speech detection. So the data, so that we have to find out the data set first. So that after that we have to pre-process that, remove stoppwords, stemming, removing HTML text and etc. Feature extractions, that the word to vector, TF, IDF, LSI, multiword. So there may be many models we can use to extract the features, and machine learning model for classification. So the training and testing both part we can use by using selected ML algorithms, and we can score model F1 precision, recall, and accuracy. We can use these things to score model and finally evaluate the model by using k-fold cross validation, percentage split, or there may be some more evaluation methods. So we can use the feature. For example, we can use TF-IDF as a feature extraction and the selected ML algorithms, and 3 comparisons matrices to score the models F1 precision and recall, and finally k-fold cross validation and accuracy can be evaluated the performance of particular machine learning algorithm. So their data sets, there are many data sets have been identified in many language. The list of the summaries attached separately that I can explain about it with the data set. Yes. So the identified gap based on this, text mining and natural language processing tools are increasingly being used by social scientists to study digital documents. There is still a considerable gap between the tools available for international languages such as English, French, Spanish, Italian, and German. Future development of machine learning for automated text classification and entity recognition based on linguistic resources. Despite many emerging scientific studies to address the problem, a major limitation of existing work is the lack of comparative evaluations, which makes it difficult to assess the contribution of individual works. So it is important to identify the best balance between allowing freedom of expression and protecting other human rights by countering hate speech. In addition to strengthening the legal framework to address the cases when hate speech can be considered criminal and developing automated monitoring of online systems to prevent the spreading of cyber hate, counter narratives can be utilized by the targets of hate speech and their communities to create campaign against hate speech. So the many countries today are rapidly recognizing hate speech as a serious problem, especially because it is hard to create barriers on the internet to prevent the dissemination of hate across countries or minorities. Making judgments about the general effectiveness of many of the complex features is difficult, since in most cases they are only evaluated on individual data sets, most of which are not publicly available and often only address a subtype of hate speech, such as bullying of ethnic minorities. For better comparability of different features and methods, we argue for a benchmark data set for hate speech detection. So the results show that it is possible to train classifiers that can detect hateful comments in multiple social media platforms with solid performance and with the share of false positive and negatives remaining within reasonable boundaries. Cross-lingual or multilingual data sets were rarely studied. So the summary, the previous studies and the flow of the past researches have been analyzed. Based on that, a research model has been proposed in this presentation. Machine learning algorithms need to be studied further, as speech and deduction techniques only have been evaluated in this draft. A detailed approach on machine learning should be added, and the multilingual or cross-lingual data set will be analyzed systematically. So these are the important areas of the from the preliminary literature review on detection of hate speech by using artificial intelligence, especially machine learning algorithms. In this presentation, I have presented the importance of detecting hate speech and the problem statements or the identified problems and methodologies. What are the methodologies we can use to detect such hate speeches, and the data sets we can use? There are many data sets we can find in GitHub or Kaggle, so we can use many multiple models, and the important part is cross-lingual or multilingual data set is an important one. And finally, a proposed model has been explained that which can be used to detect hate speech, and finally all the things have been summarized. So thank you very much for giving me these opportunities to present my presentation in this wonderful international conference. Thank you very much.